Hey guys, first YouTube video. But anyways, I like going to the theaters. I go to the theaters quite a bit, but every time I go, I end up coming out with some sort of bad experience with a stupid person. And I got to thinking about all these bad experiences that I've had at the movie theater, and I thought I'd share some of them with you. Now, I'd also like to know if any of you guys have felt the same way or had the same experience. Now, I love popcorn, like, a lot. And even though as a kid I would try and sneak in my own treats, which would end up something like, how could I sneak this into the theater without them noticing? Ha! Those idiots will never suspect a thing. Like, I love popcorn, I always buy it. But I hate it when people are too noisy. Like, a little bit of wrestling with it is fine, but when it's the quiet, emotional part of the movie, and people are just completely obnoxiously going. Now, I'm a person that will go to great inconvenient lengths not to be someone who does that. So when it gets to the emotional part and I accidentally find myself with a horrifically large mouthful of popcorn, no! No! Don't die! Why? I just kind of leave it in my mouth and suck on it silently so that it slowly and quietly turns into a sugary mush that I can subtly swallow. Am I the only one that does this? But with chips, there is no way you can get out of it. No. No. Now that's not as bad as the last time I went to the theater. I was in Red Deer and I went with my grandmother. And we were running a little bit behind, so the commercials had just ended and the movie was just about to start, and we were walking down the aisle to our seats. Now, this place was packed. There was, like, no seats except for the front row. We seen some empty seats. So we're like, oh, let's go. But no. There was an extremely fat, middle-aged couple who took up 2 seats on their own. Might have taken up 4. But their shopping bags and their coats had taken up 2 seats on either side of them. Now, my Nana, my grandmother, does not like public conflict. But when this lady looked up at me like, "They're young whippersnappers, stupid teenagers. What knife crime vandalism are they planning next?" Shit was gonna go down. Now, the amounts of seating in that theater was really scarce, except for like a few seats amongst the middle that were in between a bunch of people, so you'd have to dig through them and make things really awkward because there was no 2 seats beside each other for me and my grandmother. Now, these fat middle-aged couple had the only seats available in the theater for 2 people. So, but because we could have sat somewhere else, my grandmother didn't really mind sitting alone. She just kind of looked at me like, "Honey, don't even bother. We can just sit somewhere else." But that wasn't the point. It was the principle. Now, if you know me, you know I'm pretty much prone to be doing completely inexplicable, awkward things. But then again, I'm rather outgoing and confident, so I had no problem going up to this fat, ugly woman and saying, "Excuse me." "What?" "Would you mind moving your things so my grandmother and I could sit down?" Yeah, I don't mean to be rude, but you are taking up the only 2 seats in the theater and the movie is about to start." "You actually want us to..." "Yep." And even through the really awkward 20 seconds of shuffling past, it was worth it. So yeah, that happened. Also, I'm not afraid to shush people. Now, I'm not being some sort of weird cinema Nazi, but if people are being really loud, I will shush. Now, this seems to be like one of those extreme theater things that people will never actually do. But on my birthday, when I went to the movie Priest with my friend Ian, it was just me and him, and then 4 women that sat directly in front of us. That was it. That was it for the whole theater. Now, these women were talking throughout the entire commercials, which was fine. It was the commercials. Nobody really cares. But then when the big start came on, like the crucial part that you need so you can understand the rest of the movie, those retards was just sitting there going, I shushed. Now, because me and Ian were the only other 2 people in the theater, that wasn't as anonymous as it could have been. Especially for my friend who was sitting right beside me, pretty much like, oh my god, you did not just say that. You did not just do that. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. Or this other time I went to the theater, there was this really annoying gang of like 10-year-olds that were sitting a couple rows in front of me. And oh my god, they were so loud! They kept laughing when it was supposed to be suspenseful, and I was so ticked off. Like, I was seriously considering taking my drink and throwing it at their heads. And I was literally about to. Until some, like, old lady that was sitting a row ahead of them turned around and was all like, hey, don't you know you're in the movie theater? And I was fuck yeah, go grandma. You show those kids. And they shut up. Like, I'm a pretty nice, not intimidating, outgoing kind of girl. I guess some things just irk me. Like stupid people. Now, I'm not being mean. I'm just saying really, really stupid people who have working voice boxes. And all people who text during movies. Like, I remember this one girl when I went to go watch Scream 4, and she just sat there all damn movie, just with the BBM. She was lighting up the whole goddamn room. And it was premiere night. Like, you paid a decent, like, almost $15 to get in there, to sit there for 2 hours and text? What the fuck? I wanted to light her on fire! What? So seriously, if you're constantly told that you're stupid, just please take that knowledge, that information, and don't procreate. And don't go to movie theaters. Okay, I'm done rambling. But let me know. Am I the only one that feels this way about stupid people in the movie theater? Please, tell me.